Disclaimer, this is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before putting your money to work. With that out of the way, let's have some fun and enjoy the episode. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Rich Off Games podcast. It's your boy CB checking in with y'all. Episode 26, man. Happy Money Mondays. I hope you all are doing well, having a great day, and I hope you all had a great afternoon. It's Mother's Day this weekend, so happy Mother's Day to all my beautiful mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day to my mother as well. I love you, Ma. Thank you so much for everything that you do for me and my sister. I appreciate you, and it's up this weekend for you. Promise you that. But with that being said, without further ado, let's get right to it. But before we get started, man, I wanted to just say this real quick. Every day, you're in competition with you. It's a battle with you versus you. So show up and be the best version of yourself each and every day. Be the greatest version that you can be of yourself each and every day. You wake up and show up to do work, whether you're working out, working on your business, working on your craft, whatever it is you're working on, show up and be the best version that you can be each and every day so that you can get the best results possible. The number one thing that I think comes at a cost is chasing and pursuing your dreams. So today we're going to talk about different things that you might sacrifice on your journey to being successful. Starting out with number one, we have sacrificing time with loved ones. Now, this one's interesting because there's a lot of people you grow up with and you grow to know in life, and when you're chasing something that it requires a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of focus, you might lose these relationships in the process of chasing that thing. And that's a sacrifice. That's the thing that you're sacrificing. You're sacrificing that enjoyable, memorable person's energy and presence around you so that you can get the result that you want in life. And so a lot of people don't realize that doing work on something that you haven't seen the results from yet takes a lot of time. And it takes time away from being able to show up for others and show up for family, friends, and loved ones. So you have to understand that going into the starting of doing the thing that you're pursuing, you're going to be away from people, family, friends, and loved ones a lot. You have to accept that, because if you want the thing that you're trying to chase to work out, it might require a lot of time away. And so that's the number one thing on the list that most people sacrifice but don't realize that they're sacrificing as well. The second thing that people sacrifice without realizing is their comfort. Now, whenever you're chasing something, whenever you're pursuing and building something, you're most likely not going to be comfortable because you're in an unknowing state. And when you're in an unknowing state, an unfamiliar state, you're in a state of vulnerability. You're in a state of being vulnerable and not being protected and secure. So anytime you're not protected and secure, you're not comfortable. So being uncomfortable is something you gain from pursuing the thing that you're doing. And so you have to accept that that's just a part of the process and the journey, because as you learn and grow, you start to gain the comfortability back. But even then, you still are building up to another level of uncomfort. Because let's say, for example, you're going to the gym. Okay, cool. You're going to the gym, you're bodybuilding, you're gaining weight, you're getting heavier and heavier weight. But as you get those heavier and heavier weights, you might sit on one weight for a week, 2 weeks, a month, however long. You're going to stay there because of the comfort you've built using that weight to do those reps. But then in the back of your mind that you need to increase in order to gain the strength that you want to gain. So you have to put more weight on so that you can get stronger. The same applies with business. Whenever you're building a business, you're going to hit certain levels of business where you make certain amounts of money. And when you make certain amounts of money in business, you're going to get used to and accustomed to making that amount of money. But if you want to grow further past that level of the amount that you're making or the level of results that you're getting, you're going to know that you need to put in more in order to gain more out of it. And it's going to require you to be uncomfortable. So once you understand that you're sacrificing comfort along your journey, you'll be way closer to hitting your goals and getting to your results a lot faster. The third thing most people sacrifice is fun stuff. Anything entertaining. So traveling, going out, going places with family, going places with friends, going places with loved ones. You're sacrificing these things, and you're not accustomed to doing that. You're accustomed to living the fun life. You're accustomed to traveling. You're accustomed to going out. You're accustomed to doing all the different things that you normally would do in your life. So why not? Why can't you do these things? It's not that you can't do them. You can definitely do them. It's just about how serious you are about getting the result that you want. Are you serious enough to put away going out? Are you serious enough to put away getting drinks, going to go to these different destinations and locations? Are you okay with putting away those things so that you can get this greater result? Because it's going to require more than just not showing up. As I mentioned, there's different things that you can sacrifice, but these things are probably the most frequent and vulnerable things that most people aren't willing to do in order to get the result. So you have to be willing to sacrifice the thing so that you can get to where you're trying to go. So giving up the fun things in life for a period of time is necessary, because life isn't always going to be fun. Life is going to need and require certain amounts of work and energy and labor for the thing that you're building so that you can get to the place of living in that fun life mode. Because there's a life where there's a no life fun mode, and then there's a fun life mode. You got to live in the no life fun mode for a certain season and a certain period of time so that you can live toward the fun life mode and live in that season of life at a period of time. Every period of life has seasons and times where things are happening and things are not happening. So you can't expect to just live on auto fun mode all the time and not have any time put into the no fun mode. You have to know when those modes are on and off. They don't happen at the same time, which is the next thing that I'm going to talk about. But when they happen based upon how much time and energy you put into building the foundation that you were building for those years and that amount of time to get that result. The fourth and last thing that people sacrifice is balance. Now, this one is very, very interesting because a lot of people think that a work-life balance is possible. In my opinion, and from my experience and from what I've lived, I don't think a work-life balance is possible. I think that it requires a great amount of energy to get to the level of success that I see in my life that I'm pursuing. Even watching other successful people and being around a lot of successful people, I see the level of work they're doing and the level of travel and enjoyment and personal life that they're doing. Their work-life balance is at a very imbalance, and their imbalance is more work, less personal. Work-life balance isn't a real metric or thing to measure in our realities. In the realities where you're working a job, in the realities where you're not working for yourself, even really for both, where you're working a job and where you're working for yourself, they're not a reality because you can't balance work and life enough to see the results in work and to see the results in life. You're gonna see mediocre results. You're not going to see the best possible results. So sacrificing balance and doing more of the work now will get you the better results, rather than trying to balance both at the same time and not get the results. At the end of the day, I want you to ask yourself, is the thing I'm pursuing worth sacrificing? If it is, then great, go for it. Do the thing. But if it's not, then don't do it. Enjoy your life. Live your life the way you are. Because at the end of the day, it's all about what you value. If you value family time, if you value being comfortable, if you value fun stuff, if you value a work-life balance, then do those things that align with what you value. That's it. That's all that matters. Doing what aligns with what you balance is the key to life. That's what it's about. It's about being happy and doing what makes you happy. I love what I'm doing. I love making the content for the reasons that I love making content for. I love being in the position that I'm in and investing and pursuing those dreams, because I know that I don't know any other way of living. And I know that the things I'm doing are going to change not only my life, but my family's life as well. So I do these with purpose and intention behind it. Everything you do, make sure to do it with a purpose. That's the bottom line. Investment tip of the week. Use data to your advantage. It is important that whatever you do, you use the data. Whether you're day trading, whether you're investing, whatever it is that you're doing, use the data to your advantage, no matter what. Data comes in a very important way, in a role. It plays a very important role in a lot of things, but especially in day trading and investing, because you can use data to your advantage when you're trying to get in a position. You can use data to your advantage when you're trying to get out of a position. You can use data to your advantage when you're trying to find the right buying opportunities. You can use data in so many different ways that it's literally the key to helping you win. Understanding the history behind the data. The more data history it has, the better, because now you have a backlog of years upon years upon years of research and analytics that show you and tell you how often something happens every time this certain thing happens. It's literally it's a cheat sheet. It's a key to success and succeeding in investing and doing everything that you're doing in the market. Using data to your advantage is the number one thing that you can do in order to see good results in the market. So going forward in this year, 2026, and going forward for the rest of your investing journey, make sure that you're using data. Why not? And if you have to pay for the data, as long as the data is premium data and it's very valuable information, I don't see an issue with paying for data. I think that paying for data only makes sense if it's actually valuable data and it's not data that you're seeing for free all over the internet. So use the data to your advantage as much as you can, whenever you can, and apply it in a way that makes sense to you. Don't just look at any kind of data like, well, this doesn't make sense. Well, it's not gonna make sense. It doesn't apply to what you're doing. You have to use the data that applies to what you're doing in investing in day trading. Otherwise, it doesn't serve a purpose. If you guys want more tips and tricks about day trading and investing, make sure to click the link in the bio, www.continuebelief.com. I share a lot of free resources and tools, tips and tricks about how to day trade, how to get started investing, and so much more. So make sure you guys check out the link in the bio. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to leave a like and follow. And yeah, see you guys later. Now, something interesting happened over the weekend that didn't shake up the market a little bit, but it did raise a few eyebrows. People are like, oh, wow. GameStop. GameStop has offered to buy eBay's company for $56 billion, which is 20% more than what their current price is currently. Now, what are my thoughts? What do I think about it? Is it a good purchase for eBay? Is it a good sell for eBay? Is it a good purchase for GameStop? Is it possible to happen? What's going on? Honestly, I'm speechless. I was a little shocked to be honest, but I don't think it will happen. I don't think that it's not possible to happen. I think it's very possible that it could happen, but I think the chances are happening is very, very, very slim, in my opinion. And the reason I say that is because GameStop is a $10 billion company, market cap, while eBay is everything they offer, 56 billion, right around there. GameStop doesn't have enough cash to even buy it. They didn't they offered more than what they have. And so number one, they're over leveraged because they're putting all their eggs into this one basket. Now, this is a very bold move. You can look at it two ways. It's either a very bold move and you like it, or it's a very crazy move and you don't like it. I'm right in the middle. I'm like, I'm more leaning towards the I don't like it, and I'm not gonna buy it. Let's get that very clear. I don't think this is a buy whatsoever. No shade to GameStop. Shout out to the CEO. I respect his confidence in his approach because it's a bold move, and I respect bold moves. There's not a lot of CEOs or investors that are bold enough to make moves such as he's just made. And you got to respect that as an investor. So I do respect that about it, but I definitely don't think that this is something that I would be interested in buying, just simply due to the fact that it's not necessary. There's so many other opportunities that you can invest in. This is just something that is a talking conversational piece, and I like the idea of it because there's so many different ways it could play out. It could happen, it couldn't happen, it could happen and it backfires. There's so many different ways that it could play out, and that's what I want to talk about. So they don't have enough cash to purchase eBay. They have a strong lender who says in a letter that they are pretty confident, very confident, that the loan for the company will get approved, for GameStop will get approved. The loan is only about 20 billion. So that covers 20 billion. GameStop has 9 billion. They still need to have about $19 billion. And the rest of that is supposed to come from shares of GameStop. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, seeing that and hearing that is like, okay, well, they're doing a lot to kind of bring this deal together to make it make sense off rip. And it hasn't even, it's only been a day, so of course things are still speculating and things are still coming about. But this is straight from the CEO's mouth, and I don't like that it's gonna take as much effort to get this deal to be done. Now, if they were to pull this off and actually acquire eBay, do I think that it's possible that it'll be worth it? I think it'll be worth it for the people selling eBay rather than the people buying it, because I just don't know if GameStop is able to intake that kind of company who's been around for decades and who has the structure that they have. It's a very different structure model to GameStop. GameStop is brick and mortar, eBay's e-commerce. And the reason why GameStop wants to buy eBay is because they're e-commerce and they want to compete with Amazon. Amazon is very, 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 very much pricing out GameStop, and definitely, pricing out eBay and definitely pricing out GameStop. And so I don't know if they would be able to compete with Amazon directly, maybe Shopify, but it's good to aim high. And again, this is no shade, I'm just being realistic. There's just a lot of things, there's a lot of holes in the story. And so whenever there's a lot of holes in the story, there's not a clear picture, it's not a good one. But the reason why I like this story is just simply due to the fact of the confidence and the boldness behind the CEO. You have to be bold and confident in pursuit of investing. It's a journey. Now, he has made a lot of good moves. The CEO of GameStop, he's made a lot of good moves. He's turned around GameStop's, revenue. They've made some good money. Not great, but good. He's done a lot of very interesting buy-ins, and which is why eBay's not forced to listen, well, in a sense, forced to listen to said offer, because GameStop positioned themselves to have a 5% stake in eBay. So they already own 5% of eBay currently. And so them making a public offer, the company, eBay, has to let the shareholders and the board entertain the idea of selling their company. Before this, he's done other investments as well, similar to what he's doing now with Bath & Body Beyond. I read an article about him making an investment in there, it running up 70%, and then him selling off and the company pretty much selling back down. I think he did the same thing. I don't know if he was around before or after the meme stop rally for GameStop. I'm pretty sure it was he was in the chairman position or CEO position when that happened, and that's what helped drive the value of Amazon's cash flow up and them have cash reserves to be able to make these kind of investments. So pretty interesting CEO. You know, I love the story and I love the thought process behind it. I just think that it's a lot of pulling strings and trying to make things tie together to make sense, and it's kind of forced. But like I said, if they were able to pull it off, there's one way that this can go. Number one, there's three ways they can go, but number one is they're able to buy it and it's doing well, not doing great. I don't think it'll compete with Amazon. I think that it'll have an ability to take up some of the market cap space because it already has a little bit of it, but I don't think it'll be a number one competitor with Amazon. I don't think that that's a reality as of right now. Number two thing that can happen, obviously they don't purchase eBay. The deal falls through. But the number three thing that can happen to me is they buy eBay, right? eBay gets bought out. From eBay getting bought out, the company then fails. eBay and GameStop are now merged, but the company then fails. So then GameStop has to sell eBay and GameStop, and so someone else comes in and swoops in and buys eBay and GameStop. Now, who would that be? I'm just naming out possible theories. That's just my thought process. But nonetheless, it is interesting to see these kind of things happen and these kind of things take place because you never know what can happen in the market. Anything's possible. Earlier this year, we had Netflix and Warner Brothers possibly merging. That then fell through once Paramount showed interest. So now Paramount's supposed to be acquiring Warner Brothers. That possibly might play out another way in the future as well. We never know. There's just so many things that happen in the market. That's why it's good to dilute yourself from the noise and separate yourself from what's good and what's great. Because this isn't a great investment, even if GameStop purchases eBay. It's not a great investment. It's an okay investment. I wouldn't say it's good. It's definitely not great though. There's so many other great names that have been running this year, and particularly the semiconductor space, memory and energy have been running like insane and seeing 1,000% returns, and they actually have value and reason behind their runs and their rallies. Not like a rally in the middle of nothing happening and just some random pop and then a fade. We don't want those. We want the great foundational investments. So that's all I'm focused on. So I don't think that anyone should be looking to buy GameStop. I think that if you do buy it at your own risk, do your own research, make your own investments, take your own risk. But it would be good for eBay to sell if they choose to. They could make a pretty good return. I think their shareholders get another 20%, so that's good as well. But GameStop, I don't think that it's I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I think that it's possible. I just don't know if it's gonna happen. It's gonna take a miracle. It's definitely gonna take a miracle. But we shall see. We shall see what happens. Let the time proceed and progress, and we'll see what happens. We'll come back to this in a few months or years and see what happens. So good luck to the CEO at GameStop. Good luck to them, and best of luck to eBay. I hope that things work out. I'm a big fan of eBay. I sold a lot of sneakers on eBay in the previous years, and eBay's done a lot of good things for me. So shout out to eBay. If they sell, hey, we still gonna be selling on their platform, whether or not they do business with GameStop or not. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. But with that being said, you guys, this is going to be episode 26 of the Rich Off Games podcast. Man, I want to say thank you, God, for another day that was not promised. Thank you for allowing us to make it to May and be here with our family, friends, and loved ones, man. It's Mother's Day, so I reflect on being a youngin', not being able to do things for my mom. This month, I'm definitely going to show up for my mom, make sure she's feeling the love and the appreciation because she's done a lot for me and my sister. And so I just want to make sure that y'all say that. Make sure you guys, show up for your mothers and show love, because they're the second creator under your creator. And so they brought you into this life and they provided for you, created the lifestyle that you were able to have, whether good or bad. You are who you are from it. And it's good to appreciate your mother because you only get one. And that's a fact. With that being said, y'all, happy Money Mondays. I'll see you guys next week. Stay safe, stay blessed.